We all love a pat on the back. It feels good. It makes us feel appreciated. It boosts our mood and can even make our day. But did you know that how you praise someone can actually change their motivation? That's right. The way we deliver praise can either encourage someone to keep going or make them feel pressured. The words we use, even when we mean well, can have a big impact. They can shape how someone sees themselves and their abilities. Back in 1998, a researcher named Claudia M. Muller set out to study this very idea. She was curious about the effects of different types of praise. She wanted to know if the type of praise given to kids would affect how they approach challenges. Would it make them more resilient or more cautious? She wasn't handing out trophies or blue ribbons. Instead, she focused on verbal praise. Muller was interested in something more fundamental, the power of words. She believed that the right words could inspire kids to take on more difficult tasks. Muller gathered up a group of fifth graders and gave them a bunch of puzzles to solve. These puzzles were designed to be challenging. These weren't your average jigsaw puzzles. They were complex and required a lot of thinking. These were brain teasers designed to make the kids think hard and maybe even sweat a little. The goal was to see how they would react to different types of praise. The study was built around observing how these kids handled the pressure of a challenge. Would they give up or push through? The results of this study? They were fascinating. Well, they were pretty eye-opening. They showed that the type of praise given can significantly influence a child's motivation and approach to challenges. And they taught us a lot about how we talk to our kids, our coworkers, even ourselves. The right words can make all the difference in fostering a growth mindset. Now, Muller didn't just give these kids puzzles and let them loose. She divided them into two groups. Both groups got the same puzzles, and both groups were praised when they got a tough puzzle right. But here's the catch. The praise was different for each group. The first group was praised for their intelligence. They were told things like, "Wow, you're so smart," or "You must be a natural at this." The message was clear. Being good at these puzzles meant you were intelligent. This is something you either were or you weren't. The second group, they got a different kind of compliment. They were praised for their effort. Muller made sure these kids heard things like, "You worked really hard on that," or "I can tell you didn't give up." The focus wasn't on some innate ability. It was on the grit, the determination, the plain old hard work they put in. So what happened? Did the type of praise change how these kids performed? You bet it did. When Muller gave the kids a second round of puzzles, she noticed some stark differences. The kids who had been praised for their intelligence, they suddenly got a little picky. They wanted the easier puzzles. They didn't want to risk looking bad or feeling frustrated. They'd internalized the idea that being smart meant always getting it right. And guess what? They didn't enjoy the puzzles as much this time around. The fun was gone. Now the kids who had been praised for their effort, they were a whole different story. These kids, they wanted the hard puzzles. They wanted the challenge. Because for them, it wasn't about being naturally gifted. It was about pushing themselves and seeing what they could achieve through sheer effort. And here's the kicker. They actually enjoyed the puzzles more the second time around. They were hooked. Muller's study wasn't just about kids and puzzles. It was about something much bigger. Locus of control. Think of locus of control as an internal compass. It points to where you believe the power lies in your life. Do you believe you're the captain of your own ship? Or are you just along for the ride, tossed about by the waves of fate? People with an external locus of control, they're the ones who feel like things just happen to them. They blame bad luck, other people, or circumstances for their failures. They don't believe they have much control over their own lives. Then you've got the folks with an internal locus of control. These are the self-starters, the go-getters, the ones who roll up their sleeves and get to work. They know that life throws curveballs, but they also believe that they have the power to steer their own course, to learn from their mistakes, to create their own opportunities. They set goals and take actionable steps to achieve them. They seek out knowledge and resources to better themselves, and they celebrate their successes, no matter how small. They understand that control starts from within, and they nurture that belief every day. Section 5, the sales pitch, my lesson in internal drive. Now, some folks are born with a strong internal locus of control. Me, not so much. I was always the type to look outside myself for reasons why things went wrong. I learned it the hard way, through trial and error and a lot of frustration. Back in my younger days, I tried my hand at sales. Telemarketing, door-to-door, you name it, I did it. I was eager, but also naive. And let me tell you, sales will teach you a thing or two about locus of control. It's a crash course in personal accountability. At first, I was all over the place. My desk was a mess, my thoughts even messier. I blamed my failures on bad leads, lousy products, even the weather. Anything but myself. If it was a bad sales day, it was always someone else's fault. Sound familiar? It's a common trap. That's the external locus of control talking. It's easy to point fingers. And let me tell you, it was a recipe for disaster. My mindset was sabotaging my efforts. My sales numbers were dismal. I was stuck in a cycle of blame and frustration. I was ready to throw in the towel. But then something clicked. I had an epiphany. I realized that my attitude was the problem, not the products, not the customers, not the weather. It was me. I had to take ownership of my own success. It was a turning point. I started setting realistic goals, practicing my pitch, and refining my approach. And focusing on the things I could control. My preparation, my attitude, my effort. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. I learned that true success comes from within. Section 6. Hitting the wall, external locus, and the blame game. The more I embraced that internal locus of control, the better I did. I stopped blaming external factors and started taking responsibility for my own actions. And guess what? My sales went up. More importantly, I started feeling good about the work I was doing. I was no longer at the mercy of external forces. I was calling the shots. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming external factors. We all do it from time to time. But when we consistently blame others or circumstances for our setbacks, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to learn and grow. Think about it. If you believe that your success is entirely dependent on factors outside of your control, you're essentially giving away your power. You become a passive observer in your own life. Section 7. Taking the reins steps to cultivate an internal locus. The good news is that an internal locus of control is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So how do you start flexing that internal muscle? First off, start small. Don't try to take on the world all at once. Instead, focus on one area of your life where you feel like you're lacking control. Maybe it's your finances, your health, or your relationships. Once you've identified an area to work on, set some small, achievable goals. Remember, it's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about taking baby steps and celebrating each victory along the way. Each small success will fuel your internal locus of control, making you believe in your ability to make positive changes. Section 8. Problem solved, confidence found, fueling your internal engine. Next up, become a problem solver. Instead of dwelling on problems or complaining about things you can't change, ask yourself, what can I do about this? Even if the solution is small, the act of taking action will empower you. When you face a challenge, don't shy away from it. Embrace it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Remember, every time you successfully navigate a difficult situation, you're providing yourself with concrete evidence that you are capable of handling whatever life throws your way. Section 9. Recognizing your role, spotting self-driven successes. And here's a big one. Start keeping track of your successes. We often downplay our accomplishments or attribute them to luck. But the truth is, most of our successes are the direct result of our own hard work, dedication, and choices. So, take the time to acknowledge your wins, big or small. Write them down. Reflect on the steps you took to achieve them. By recognizing your role in your own success, you'll reinforce that internal locus of control and build your confidence for future endeavors. Section 10. The ripple effect from personal growth to influencing others. Developing an internal locus of control isn't just about personal gain. It's about becoming a more effective and influential person in all aspects of your life. When you believe in your ability to make a difference, you're more likely to step up, to take initiative, and to inspire others to do the same. You become a role model for your kids, your coworkers, your community. Section 11. The enduring power of self-belief. Look, life is full of challenges. There will always be things we can't control. But by cultivating an internal locus of control, we equip ourselves with the mental tools to navigate those challenges with resilience, optimism, and a belief in our own agency. We become active participants in our own lives, shaping our destinies one choice, one action, one puzzle at a time. And that, my friends, is a powerful feeling.